Live on YouTube. There we go. Folks, Kurt Von Onen here. Mañana no Mas morning check-in. It's just after morning. So I'm a little bit late again today. I think I'm just going to stop calling it the morning check-in. I'll just call it the Mañana no Mas daily check-in. How about that? And let me turn off the sound. There we go. Get rid of that echo chamber there. I was watching YouTube just before I started doing this one. So today's a great day, right? Let's talk about great things. Great day because I was able to trim myself up, get rid of that kind of that homeless look I had going with my beard, right? All shaved up, got a lot of vitamin D. I got a little color on my face. And you're saying to yourself, what the hell this matter? What's he talking about? Well, it's more that personal wellness stuff, right? Take a moment, take care of yourself. If you're working remote, get dressed, take a shower, deodorant, maybe a little cologne. Right. But it's that give yourself the confidence for another good winning day. And so, and it's not just for you, right? You're an example for others. And so today, if you got the daily email, if you're part of the newsletter mailing, right? If you're not, I'm going to say it again, go to mañananomas.com. At the top, you'll see Academy. Click on Academy. It's going to open up, my training site. That homepage to that training site right on there says join the newsletter list. Join that. If you get on the newsletter list, you're going to get a near daily email that has all kinds of value-added information, ebooks, and all kinds of things that come to you. But I try to do some kind of inspirational message just about every day. And today, the inspirational message was to celebrate a win, but it's not really my win, right? I'm celebrating someone else's win that I'm kind of taking ownership of. And so I talk a lot about sow the seed, reap the harvest, sow the seed, reap the harvest. You got to do the work, right? I say this all the time. You can't keep sitting around waiting for something good to happen, right? You got to, it's funny. Lucky people tend to be people that do a lot of work, right? And so, and I try to be this good example, not just for me, but for people in my home, right? And I got kids I'm raising. So super, super proud of my daughter. I do podcasting. I do these things on a daily basis. I got, the blog, I've got websites, I've got customers, I've got all this stuff that I'm constantly juggling, right? But do I want to constantly juggle this stuff with me, with you, with growing this community? Or, do I want to take a corporate job and sit in a cubicle again and have a ball and chain locking me to the cubicle wall? And that's the decision that, all of us are faced with, especially now with so much remote work and all of this stuff going on, in the middle of the pandemic. And so my daughter, 16, she sees what I'm doing and she's got an interest in figure skating. And she says, hey, can you show me how to do a podcast? And I said, well, I'll show you my tool, right? So let's get you signed up for this tool that I use. And, the directions are right here. It's probably better to read the directions and try it out than it is to listen to how I shortcut the thing, right? I just want to give you the best chance to succeed. So here's the directions and here's how you get started. If you have any questions, let me know. Well, she publishes a podcast. I don't even know about it. So she puts it out there. Now, before you guys go freaking out, like, why is a 16-year-old making content, that I don't know about? She's super smart. She's bright. She doesn't do stupid things. If she does, pardon me, if she does, we kind of get ahead of it, right? But I'm raising my kids to be independent thinkers, independent, confident thinkers. And so, she's not giving out personal information and weird stuff like that, right? So she makes this podcast. She puts it out there. She's got listeners. She starts building a little community already. She's into figure skating. She goes to the rink and she starts talking about her podcast and saying, hey, would you like to be a guest on my podcast? How about you? Would you like to be a guest on my podcast? And she starts scheduling out, when her episodes are going to be and who she's going to interview and what she's going to discuss about and what the story arc is of her endeavor. She's doing all this, right? So yesterday, I signed into the podcast because I found out that it was there, right? Because we had a discussion. She said, oh, I'm going to do some guests. And I already did one and they liked it. So I'm going to have some guests to start doing some other ones. So, okay, I should probably listen to this thing. So I signed in to listen to it. And folks, I'm blown away. She's got a bumper, a trailer, an introduction. She recorded an ad with Anchor FM. So she's injecting the advertising, right from the get-go, right from the beginning. Not like, a lot of people start a podcast and they do like a 5-minute message and hang up, right? They get nervous. She did the full thing. She did music intro, an intro to her podcast, the ad for Anchor, the content, and then the trailer, right? Hey, I hope you really enjoyed the message today, blah, blah, blah. Stay tuned, like and share, for more, right? Boom, whole thing, done. Her sense of cadence, vocal tone, inflection, all of that, folks, people go to school to study this stuff, right? I'm not making this up. People go to presentation seminars, people go to school, people go pay all kinds of money to learn these skills. And here's a 16-year-old going, I think I can wing this, and boom, done, right? We could say, hey, apple doesn't fall from the tree, and I can pat myself on the back. But realistically, what we're seeing is seed harvest, do the work. There's going to be times, like when you're raising kids, that you're going to see them behave in a way that makes you go, what in the hell did I do wrong? Right? There's going to be times that come up where you're going to go, what were they thinking? How did I raise an adult, or how did I raise a person, a teenager, to do that? Right? You're like, right? But then if you've done the work, if you've laid the foundation, there's going to be moments where you're like, oh my goodness, it worked. Harvest. There's the harvest, right? Now, do I want my kids to be just like me? No, I don't want my kids to be just like me. I want them to be a lot better than me, right? But if I give them the tools, if I sow the seed, if I do the work, if I build the foundation, they should be able to take those tools as a catapult to a better future, right? So I pay my kids to read leadership books. People might say that's crazy, but I do that. The schools and the education system indoctrinates them with a certain way of thinking, and I don't exactly follow a lot of those lines. So I like to give them books on leadership, books on, like, school's great at teaching you how to follow, but I want to teach you how to lead, right? And so I want them to be crisp, clear, critical thinkers, and people that can use a gift of discernment to go, hey, I heard you say that, but I'm not sure that rings true. I'm going to look into that. And I want my kids to be able to have the strength to be able to stand up for what's right, to make a decision and go, that doesn't sound right. I think I'm going to go this way, right? Now, there's a price to pay for that, because sooner or later, they're going to look at me and go, I don't agree with you. I'm going to go this way. And I'm going to have to find the energy and find the patience to endure that. I know that's coming, right? So I know that I have to find the patience to endure that. But to give them that gift, that catapult of power and confidence coming out of their teen years into young adulthood, I got to tell you, I feel like that's a win. And so I try to make these inspirational, right? I try to say, hey, what's the action item out of this talk? What's applicable, right? Here's what's applicable. If you have kids, figure out how you can inject them with something contrarian to the school system. I'm not saying school is worthless. Reading, writing, arithmetic, those are all valuable skills, right? So yeah, there's value in school, but there's an indoctrination process that happens with other things. And the more that you can curb that or round that or give them exposure to other thoughts, other lines of thinking, the stronger they're going to be when they hit the real world, right? So it's not too late. Whatever their age is, you can, tomorrow's the first day of the, it's the next day, it's the first day of the rest of your life, right? Tomorrow's the first day of the rest of your life. And so you can say, okay, starting tomorrow, we're going to do this, this, and this, right? So there's that. The other thing is, what if you don't have kids? What's all this talk about if you don't have kids? Think about yourself. Think hard, look inside, and go, am I following status quo and channeling along with people because it's the easiest thing to do? Am I using all of my critical thinking ability to forge my own path? Am I binging Netflix at night instead of writing a book? Am I staring at YouTube all day or clicking along on Facebook all day when I could be training people how to read at the library? Right? I'm trying to find ways to inspire you to be the best that you can be, to be the most productive you can be, and to add as much value to as many people as possible. I've got some interesting things coming up. I've got people that are saying, hey, I like the Mañana no Mas message. I like what you say. I listen to what you say. I think your message is strong, right? I'd like to bring you to my organization to do this. Flattering, super flattering, right? And I'm like, wow, recruiters are actually reaching out to me now. Like this is cool. And I'm not going to say that I'm not available. Like, I'm not going to say, I'd never go to work for a corporation. Because that's, you never want to say never. But I look at how many people I've positively affected just in the last year through these inspirational messages, through the feedback I get in the emails, through all this other stuff that I got going on. And so if an opportunity was going to interfere with adding value to others en masse, I'd have a really hard time saying yes, because I know that what I'm doing right now is adding value to people, right? So I've got Mañana no Mas, I've got the Power Sport Academy, and I've got the Challenge Connection. The Challenge Connection, to me, is one of the coolest things ever, right? I'm watching I'm watching a challenge this week hosted by the King of Challenges, and I'm watching him do his thing, and I'm watching him show people how to use challenges to revolutionize the way they grow their businesses and their organizations. And I'm going, wow, this is so cool. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, I've got this other product over here that amps up challenges and makes them awesome, right? I've got this other product over here that's off of Facebook's main channel. You still use Facebook, but the challenge is off of Facebook, and you own it, and you own all the user information, and it's got other marketing tools and all these things. I'm like, so he's showing people how to, like, you can spend $2,000 on Facebook ads, and through your challenge make $10,000. You can spend, $40,000 and through these ads, and then your challenge will make $85,000 or $90,000. And he's showing people how to do this. And then I'm coming along and I'm going, that's awesome. Now, what if I add this extra tool in here and I help them become more efficient, more productive, and optimize their e-commerce channels and these things better to make more money? And it's not about greed. It's about meeting people where they're at, serving a need, and adding value, right? Just add the value and the revenue will follow. And I'm super, super excited about it. So how many people will I help with Challenge Connection? How many people will I help with the Power Sport Academy, showing dealerships how to increase their parts and labor business? Because that's my background, right? I got a lot of passion in motorcycles and bicycles, as you can see, looking around. And then, of course, the Mañana no Mas thing with running membership and learning websites for people. The sky's the limit. So I just want to inspire you. Find your thing. Don't be afraid to be a contrarian in your thinking, and find that success, and then do whatever you can to try and mentor somebody and pour that success into somebody else. To see my daughter, make headway with this podcast and her success in the skating thing, it's awesome. She's 16, whole world in front of her.